Draymond Green making some headlines last week for comments he made in regard to the lack of support for women's sports. Take a listen.
I'm really tired of seeing them complain about the lack of pay because they're doing themselves a disservice by just complaining. They're not laying out steps that they can take to change that. And so it's coming off as a complaint because the people that can change it, they're just going to continue to say, well, the revenue isn't there. The revenue isn't there. So if you don't bring in the revenue, we can't up your pay. They're going to keep using that. But the reality is, as true as that is, it's an excuse because everyone says, we support women. We support women empowerment. We support women in the workplace. We do this for women. We do X for women, blah, blah, blah. And everyone uses it to their advantage. Yet these women are not using these people that are saying those very things to their advantage.
USWNT star Megan Rapinoe, obviously taking exception to these remarks and in a recent press conference, said the following, quote, "It's really unfortunate that in the position he's in, having all the resources that he has and the ability to have a much more educated opinion that he just hasn't. Really frustrating. Obviously, he just kind of showed his whole ass and not understanding what we talk about the whole time. You don't think that we've asked for more investment? I mean, what are we screaming about nonstop?" Okay, so we have a lot to unpack here, and here to help us do so, we have ACC Network host Monica McNutt making her first Take debut. Lady, congratulations. Welcome to the show. It's Ladies' Hour. So happy to have you. And obviously a lot to unpack here with these comments. So, Chiney, I want to start with you here. What's your reaction to Draymond's comments?
The only worst thing about being wrong is being loud and wrong. I think Brandon
loud.
Marshall is sort of learning that right now. The meme.
Hey,
right?
Brandon.
Accurate. But I've known. Hey, Brandon. It's all good, Brandon. You gave us a great meme, Brandon. Thank you. Now, I've known Draymond Green for a while. We both played on the World University Games team together for Team USA back when we were in college, which makes this all the more difficult because Day, I mean, he's been on the show with us. He has the right relationships. He has the right people to look to really get answers. So let's set this straight. WNBA players would absolutely love more money, of course, but we understand the economic realities of our league. But, you know, complaints from WNBA players, that's not happening anymore. Do you know why? Well, I've got the answer. I am vice president of the WNBPA, an amazing players association. And in 2020, we ratified a new CBA that addressed our players' concerns. Obviously, salary. For the first time, we have average salaries in 6 figures, which is amazing. That CBA was not just a win for women's hoopers. It was a win for women in the workplace, period. Widely celebrated. More increase in salaries, full paid maternity leave, mental health resources, you name it, we got it. And there's a reason why there's a saying that women have to work twice as hard to get half as far. Mm-hmm. And if you think that women are not doing the work right now to get our stories told, then you are wildly misinformed. Anyone that supports our game is a real one because they do so with the expectation that they will not get the credit. The women have been, putting in the work and trying to tell their stories, but until we have equity in the rooms that matter most, equity there where representation is there so that our stories actually have enough proximity where people can relate to, then it's going to be hard. And we've been fighting this uphill battle for so long, which is why, I think he really cares and he comes from a place of passion. But the hardest thing is realizing that the platform that you say, it's like use your platform to empower us, not to say I'm not going to speak on Women's History Month. No, use your platform to amplify those who have solutions instead of just preaching what the problems continue to be. And by the way, those problems are outdated because if anyone watched the women's tournament, we are moving in a whole different direction.
Yes, absolutely.
I love everything you just said, Chiney. And the funny thing is, the last time the three of us had our first take over, Draymond was on. So when I was watching him, I was like, he really could have called Chiney. He really could have called if he had questions. That's what bothered me the most because he has access to the answers. He literally has access, the Rolodex to hey Chiney, hey Megan, hey Sue, what's going on? But I actually did, as much as I laughed as he was talking and I shook my head, I did like one thing that he said, which was people like to say that they support women's sports and women athletes and stuff like that. He's right about that. People love to say it, but do you watch regular season games? Do you watch college? Do you buy the same? Do you buy jerseys? Do you invest it? Executives, do you put the games on? It's not just the equal pay and all that. Like, that aside, there's a bigger issue about the commitment, the support. It's not just financial. Where do you spend your energy? If these games aren't being televised, if you aren't showcasing the draft, if you're not talking about issues that affect women athletes at the same rate, like, that's part of it too. It's this like mushrooming thing. And I'm glad that he spoke, because we're talking about the how he's not connecting all the dots. We're speaking about it, and it continues the conversation, because there are a lot of people sitting on their couch right now like, Draymond had a point. I see exactly what he's saying. Like, if the revenue's not there, the revenue's not there. What you want? But they're not actually acknowledging that, like Sue Bird and Chloe Kim and Simone Manuel, like Alex Morgan, like, they started their own website to like, women are out there trying to create their own content and do things for themselves. And if Draymond doesn't get it, and he's a guy who's got connections, like, he has resources to the answers, he knows people. How do you expect guys in corner offices who make decisions about programming to actually invest? Like, that's what bothers me. It's a whole bigger thing than just Draymond, but I'm glad he spoke his truth and how he sees it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.